Hi, so this is my, I guess, final video diary for this week. I wanted to take just a day just to reflect on the week on NG feeding. The tube came out yesterday afternoon, and I won't lie, it was nice for it to be out. But I just wanted to have a think about, and a look through all the entries that I've put onto the site, and just wanted to have a think about it before I did, I guess, my final sign off. So I guess what I would say is it's been a fascinating, sort of really interesting week for me, I guess, personally and sort of professionally. It's given me a massive insight into what it's like, I think, to be on feeding, and there were so many things that I was surprised about and would not have even considered before, and it absolutely will affect my practice, I think, from now on. And that sort of empathy and appreciation of the sort of practical and sort of, I guess, psychological to some degree things that go on regarding the not eating food, and just getting about your day-to-day life. So yes, it's been a really, really valuable thing to do, and I'm really glad I did it. I guess the week started about say a week Monday ago. The tube placement was, it was uncomfortable. I wouldn't choose to do it. Well, I did choose to do it, but I wouldn't necessarily say it was the most comfortable thing in the world. But it wasn't horrendous either. It didn't take long to go down, and then it was just, again, it's not normal to have that tube coming, so it did take a while to get used to it. But I did get used to it, I think, and by the end of the week, I didn't realise it was there a lot of the time. I actually forgot that it was there. So I think that just show that people can desensitise, and I know patients have said to me as well about having the peg, that obviously for the first few weeks or maybe even month they're very aware of it, but then it just becomes a part of their body, and I can definitely understand that, and that even with the NG tube, that you probably would adapt like many people do to things that happen to them, I guess. There were a few things that I did expect from the week and did happen. I had a really dry mouth for the whole week. It got a bit easier to tolerate, and feeding did satisfy that, quench that first a little bit, which I was surprised about. But I did have a dry mouth. I had a horrendous headache for the first few days, and I'm guessing that was the caffeine withdrawal. But again, by the end of the week, that had gone. And I did have a change in my bowels, so I definitely became a little bit on the constipated side towards the end, and maybe I thought that might be the other way. So that would be something I'll think about, because that's me with a healthy bowel and with plenty of fibre and water going in. So yeah, that's just something to consider. And there were plenty of surprises as well. The feeling of the tube at the back of your throat, I knew it'd be uncomfortable, but it was a really strange cold feeding, and when you feed, and as if, say, water is trickling down the back of your throat, which was a bit disconcerting at first, but again, towards the end of the week, I sort of got used to it and really didn't feel it. The amount that it makes your mouth salivate, which was quite pleasant, to be honest, so you got that sort of first quench when you were thirsty during the feeding. But I just putting that into practice, there may be situations where making someone salivate more is not a good thing, even with patients with MND, that sometimes hypersalivation is quite prominent, and if the feeding's making that worse. I would say I salivated less on pump feeding than maybe when I was having a large bolus, where I really did sort of get quite a bit. So that's something I'll consider. The awkwardness of having a shave, having a shower, and getting dressed with an NG tube, and being very aware that you don't want to sort of pull at it and sort of moving it out of the way, so it's not always in the way. One of the big surprises was I didn't feel hungry, and say I'm usually a very, very hungry person and can eat at will, really, and eat fair amounts. So the fact that I just, even on the pump feeding, I didn't feel hungry at all was quite a surprise. And as I said, but I did sort of miss food. I did expect to feel very self-conscious, and I definitely did for the first half of the week. Towards the end, again, because I'd forgot it was really there, I felt much less self-conscious and less sort of worried about it. But, I guess people's reactions were quite interesting, of people, not necessarily people I know, because I guess they would be quite happy and most of them knew about it, I guess, or would be quite happy to ask me, why have you got that tube in, either through concern or just interest. But maybe people that I didn't know so well, who maybe themselves didn't feel particularly comfortable asking me, why is that tube in, obviously thinking maybe I wasn't very well. And that just made me think, I guess, that the NG tube being there is a sort of a very visual reminder, if I was unwell, that I am unwell. It tells everybody that there's something wrong with me. And you can sort of feel that when you're speaking to people. If, again, you're talking to someone and they're dying they can see it, and they're maybe even looking at it, but maybe don't feel comfortable enough to say, why is that in, which is completely understandable. But I think from the person who's got the NG tube in, having that tube there is a very, very visual reminder, I guess, both to themselves and to others that they're not well, would be a factor, and would maybe affect you, I guess. Because you get that instant reaction, whereas other people can be unwell and not have you wouldn't even know it unless you asked them, or they knew you. Whereas the NG definitely tells people that there's something wrong with you. And I guess with the feeding, again, it's quite novel. I was only on it for a week, so it was interesting for me. But I did get into a routine. It did take. I can imagine it would become a bit of a bind, especially with bolus feeding, where you're having to get things out all fairly often. The actual doing of it, I felt okay again once I got into it. And I think, as I said before, I think if I was to bolus feed, I think I was to feed myself, and it was something I had to do, then my ideal situation would be to have a pump that runs at a very fast rate, so that I could bolus feed myself for a number of times a day, rather than having to do it via a syringe and get everything, be pulling up or hanging up. And so that I can just get on with things instead of having to do the feed. So I could just have the pump running, especially if you were working. You could just have the pump sort of set up with a big bag of feed, and you could just press the button, give yourself half an hour of a 400-500 ml bolus of feed, stop it, and then at lunchtime just press the button, have that boost for half an hour, and same at evening time. So I think that would be, for me, an ideal way to feed, but obviously some people wouldn't be able to tolerate those volumes. I think that's how I would choose to, if I really had to. I'm sure there are other things that have happened, but I think that's the main things I can think of right now. I guess I wanted to say a massive thank you to everybody that's followed this week. I know, for me, it feels like I've let everyone into my life for a week, which has been really weird, and I am going to go into hiding now a little bit anyway. But all the comments have been great, and again, the way that it's been done, I'm quite happy. I'm quite glad I've done it this way now, rather than maybe just writing something up afterwards, because everything happened, was recorded as it happened, and to say nothing was scripted. It was just as I was feeling at that time, and they were all first edits, I guess. So, most of them, maybe not the running one, but yeah, most of them were just first edits, and I guess I also want to say a massive thank you to everybody that has donated. I've been, just so surprised about how much we're up to at the moment, and I wouldn't even, I was definitely not even expecting close to that before I started. So I can't say thank you enough to everybody that has donated so far. And if you haven't donated, I guess it's definitely not too late, because I'm now on to the marathon, which is the original fundraising idea, I guess. And I will keep updating the page with my running updates, I guess, if anyone's interested. And it's not too late to update, so I will obviously share the Just Giving page again. If you want to share this this Facebook page with anybody, please share it. And I guess the more money we raise for the association, South Yorkshire Association for MND, the more we can help people living with the disease and their families. So yeah, please, if you haven't donated yet, anything that you can donate will be gratefully appreciated. So this is going to be, you're probably all thinking, thank God, the last video, and thank you for following me for this week. It's been great. Cheers, bye.